This segment is being brought to you by Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. You can call us here at 737-7767. We'll be glad to take your phone calls during this segment. Hopefully they're going to be about stuff that we're talking about, but if not, just go ahead and call. If we don't know the answer, we'll tell you we don't know, but we'll find out for you. I have a new guest on the show right now, Summer Major.
Yes, sir.
See, if you'd have been in the military, it'd been Major Summer.
I know.
Summer Major. Summer, now you are the FFA advisor for this area or
For Lebanon High School.
For Lebanon High School.
Yes, sir.
Now, what does that mean?
It's a lot, actually. It's a privilege. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's a great, I don't really call it a job. It's a career. It was a career of choice for me. It was a dream of mine since I was in high school, and so I'm
now,
one
did you
of four.
take FFA in high school?
I did, all 4 years.
What did you do?
A little bit of everything. What didn't I do? It'd be probably easier
What did
to
you
answer.
raise? A cow or a calf?
I did.
Or?
I raised calves. I had horses. And a little bit of everything. My grandparents had a farm, and we had a small farm, and I dated a farmer during high school, so married that farmer, so I'm in it for the long haul now.
So is he still a farmer, or has he had to go off and be in?
Oh no, we have a dairy, so we're hardcore.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
How many dairy cows are y'all running?
200. That's just what we milk. We have more than that, but that's just what we milk.
That's a full-time thing. That is a 7-day-a-week job.
Most definitely.
You can't take a vacation from that. You
sir.
realize that?
Yes, sir.
Bad choice. Bad choice.
That's what everybody says.
But I tell you what, now, Summer, with that, you're in Lebanon High School advising kids and young guys and young gals that are coming up in this. Are you trying to direct them to take certain job positions in the market? Or are you helping them find those jobs? And like I mentioned to Hayden about being a combine mechanic, I mean, those are rare right now. They're running out of them. Everybody's going crazy trying to get their combines working again. Hay balers, equipment mechanics, and things like that are getting to be less and less of those.
Definitely.
Because the market's being flooded with. I can take you to John Deere school, and there's probably 300 guys taking the course. You can go to the Case school, it's about the same. I took the Cummins diesel for Caterpillar. That's about 600 guys in there. Each time there's one, but there's nobody doing the equipment. How to fix this, or how to fix a spreader or a hay baler or something like that. Is there a big demand?
There is, and one of the joys, I guess, and challenges of our job as teachers is to find that student's passion and try to capitalize on that passion and try to find a pathway for them. And there are so many jobs out there that we don't even know about yet, and you don't know about until you get in college. But if we can just steer them in that direction, you know, we've had several who found their niche while they were in high school, and they came in saying they're going to do one thing, and they take ag, and they're like, oh man, I could do this, or I love this, and this is what I'm going to go do. And so we just try to push them, I think, to go that direction. And I think a lot of times they realize once they're in these ag classes how much more there is to do, and they kind of get outside that box. And I think every class that we teach, we do a career section, and surely by the time they've gotten out of high school, they've researched more than a few careers.
Right.
So, but that's, you know, kind of one of the joys to see them, you know, that light bulb come on. Oh, I really love this, and I think I can make, you know, a living doing this. And I'm one of those. My husband didn't go to college because he was not the kind that liked school. He'd rather be on the farm any day of the week. And,
he was running with Mitch and I, wasn't he?
He must have been. And so that's, you know, he loves it, and I always say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And so, and I kind of pass it on to the kids. I don't really shove college down their throat. I encourage it, but there are things that we need. Trade schools are out there. You know, we need good welders, and they make way more money than I do. Yeah. So we need those kinds of guys, and so we do try to push that. You know, trade schools and technical schools are out there for a reason, and we need those guys. You know, just like y'all were talking earlier, you know, we need those skill sets that we don't have anymore.
There's
you know,
less
that's
and
kind
less
of scary that, technology's taken over, which is kind of a good thing, but it's kind of scary that we're taking away some hands.
Well,
as
now I
well.
know we need doctors and nurses and lawyers and all this, but we also survive by food,
right.
and that has a lot to do with the farming industry.
That's right.
And I was blown away by the fact that they were growing tomatoes upside down with a water system and no dirt whatsoever.
Yes.
And it's
Hydroponics.
Yeah, hydroponics. That's right. And I learned that while I was skipping with Goofy at Disney World. But you learn those kind of things, and you see those kind of things. Things are changing every day.
Definitely.
We have got more and more. I'm seeing more and more different seed programs, and I say this because in the outdoor industry, hunting and fishing, we need to be up on this stuff, and we're not. I am so surprised at how many hunters and fishermen that are not techno savvy. They don't know what's
Right.
going on. They don't know the changes. There's how many Roundup ready seeds that are available with corn, and what's the next step on our corn, what's the best seed for turkey. Those are things that you can learn and apply to outdoor industry. There was a brand new seed program just in a brand new crimson or type of clover that was invented in Australia that just came to this country just this year, and the clover grows to 5 feet tall.
Wow.
So can you imagine a whitetail buck coming through that and going, oh my gosh, I found the heaven right here. So it's things like that are changing. But our future doesn't know about it.
Oh, definitely. It's kind of scary.
It is scary. It is scary that we don't know what's going on all around the world, and we should, because we're not the smartest ones all the time. There's other countries that are doing pretty well too. But I just found out we're the biggest supplier of wheat in the world. I did not know that.
I can believe that.
So we're supplying everybody with bread, because that's where the bread comes
right.
from, is wheat. So we're supplying virtually the whole world with wheat. Soybeans, we're big in soybeans. Tennessee is what's the number one crop, or number one and number two. And don't anybody say anything illegal either, because I know what everybody's out there thinking. But soybeans and corn, right?
Yes, they are. Of course, cotton is big in West Tennessee, not as much in.
But it's not as big as corn or soybean.
Right.
And cotton's still a low item price-wise per bale. It's still, I think it's still in the 70s price range instead of what it should be in 2016. Soybeans have come up. Corn is kind of stabilized a little bit. We've had a drought.
Yes, we have.
So what's that going to do, Hayden? What is it? And you guys need to know we're at 0.43 for the month of October. We're 2.67 inches below what is normal. We got a drought.
Yeah.
What does that do to the prices, Hayden?
It makes them drop. Well, actually, it makes them go up.
It makes it go
just
up.
makes the products drop because there's not as much.
That's right.
They're more dying off than
So it jacks the
harvested.
prices up.
Definitely.
Milk, you being a dairy farmer, what does that do for the milk? I mean, but I'm going to say this: you guys at the start that's doing the actual milking, y'all don't see much.
We don't. You're right.
You don't see much change, do you?
No, we don't.
I mean, if it's a drought, it's just like, oh well, suck it
Yeah.
up, Buttercup.
We harvest a lot of our own feed, so we were very blessed this summer to have enough rain, and our corn silage was great, and we got it all chopped before September. So we had plenty of rain for us. I know in East Tennessee they were very short on rain, and their corn died, before they could really get a good chop in, and I know that will affect them, but for us, we're very blessed. Now we're really dry, of course, but that does affect price. It's a huge thing that affects, the livestock market, the dairy industry for sure, because that's one of our biggest expenses, and so we have a lot of commodities trucked in and things like that. But we do our own corn silage, and that kind of helps offset that expense.
animals cause a lot of crop deprivation, and that is huge concern for farmers today. I have proposed, and it's kind of fallen on deaf ears, but I still say that the farmer and the hunter can go hand in hand and help one another. And that's what this show's all about, is to try and make an easier way to do things. But I know farmers that are given 90 to 200 crop deprivation tags, where they actually shoot the animal and they leave it laying in the field because it's eating his crops. Where the hunter, if we could find hunters to come together with the farmers and the landowners, we can use this. It is a resource. I don't care what anybody says, the white-tailed deer is a state resource. We can use that resource to help feed hungry people. We still have people that they've lost their jobs, or medical reasons they can't work, and it makes it hard to survive without eating. I still say that we can do that. I would love to see kids like you guys, not kids anymore, young adults, take that banner and see if you can't make it work. Because at some point in this time, in this world, we've got to all come together and help each other. And we don't want the farmer to sit there and suffer every time. And I've seen them lose, 10 to 15 bushels an acre off of a 80 bushel crop or a 60 bushel crop, and they're losing 10 to 15 bushels an acre just from animal deprivation. That's a lot. I mean, that's when you're hitting somebody in the pocketbook.
That's right.
And we're losing farmers.
We are, and
they're turning it into hay.
I know.
And selling it to horse people.
Yes, they are. Hey, they got money though. So.
I'm just saying, we're losing guys that used to. I know several farmers that had 200, 300, and 400 acre cornfields, and then switch it out from corn to soybean the next year, and they can't afford it anymore.
Well, that's where another part of FFA really comes into play, is for these students to realize that the average age of the farmer is almost 58 years old. That's really scary for me. That's about the age of my parents. And so I always ask my class, does that scare you, or what do you think about the future? And what's going to happen in the future when these people eventually they're gone? What happens to their farm? Are there generations below them? Are they going to take it on and farm it? Is there going to be money to do that? Because it takes money to do that. Another student of mine was talking the other day, it takes a lot of money to get started. I said, well, you've got to start small, don't jump in all at once. But we do need those
big case
people.
tractors they got out there?
Oh, yeah.
If you ain't in there with $125,000, you ain't talking.
No, sir.
I'm telling you. Hey, we got to do our tip of the week this week, and this week's tip of the week is being brought to you by the Davidson County Farmers Co-op. Hey,
right.
great organization over there, Scott Cooper and all that fine gang. I just went over there and bought a bale of straw just the other day from them, and missed Scott, but told everybody else hello. So this week's tip is, let's put hunters and farmers together. A great way to get you more land to hunt on is, instead of going right before hunting season and talking to that farmer about maybe hunting his crop or his land, how about going out there and helping him seed, or helping him clean up around, or clean out a fence row, something like that. Start in the spring and work with him a little bit and say, you know what, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you being a farmer. You will open more doors than you've ever heard of. And guess what? When tobacco season gets here and it's time to harvest that tobacco, if you'll get in there and get your machete out there and you get to cutting it and staking that stuff, I promise you that farmer might say, you know what, son, I appreciate you doing that. You never asked me for a dime. You go ahead and hunt all you want to, brother. That's how you make friends, and that's how you get permission to hunt on private lands. We're losing our lands left and right to corporations and everything else that don't have a problem telling you no. So this is a way you can get a yes if you'll just apply it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Marty Rule's in the house, and he's got something from down south down y'all know. He got some jambalaya and some crawfish. Did you bring the crawfish?
You're out of here. All right, we'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Water.